There are new reports after 4 decades of mysterious radio signals coming from our neighbouring star, Proxima Centauri. Could it actually be aliens from the other side of our sun trying to communicate with us? Well, the team of astrologers at Breakthrough Listen are scavenging through all the data, which is pointing towards possibilities of alien life. Join us as we talk about the radio signals from the Proxima Centauri star system and the possibility of life from its exoplanet, Proxima B. Of course, more research is required since this planet might not be as habitable as any of us thought. What did astrologers find? Scientists picked up a strange signal that came from the Proxima Centauri star, which is super close to us, even though it's pretty dim when you look at it from Earth. But in reality, it's only 4.2 light-years away, which is like a tiny hop in space. They found something super interesting using data from 2019, and what's interesting is that they can't brush it off as something from Earth. This makes people think that maybe, just maybe, it's a message from aliens who are trying to talk to us, and scientists are calling this a techno-signature. But the scientists who discovered this signal are being very careful. Even though it's super interesting, they're saying we shouldn't jump to big conclusions just yet. Andrew Simeon from the University of California thinks that they've only figured out a few things from the signal, but there's still a lot they don't know. And the fact that they don't completely understand it is what makes this new discovery even more interesting. The fact that it's hanging out in a really tiny part of the radio waves, like a special spot at 982 MHz, means this part doesn't have the signals from satellites or spaceships that we've made, because it's usually pretty quiet. Why is this a big deal? The energy all squished into this small space is strange. It's like having a bunch of people crammed into a tiny room, which isn't something you see every day, and experts are trying to figure out why something like this is happening. So far, they think it's because of something related to really hot gases like plasma, or maybe it's from some kind of technology we haven't seen before. Either way, the hunt for the answer behind the possibility of aliens will be helped by Project Breakthrough Listen, which put in over $100 million into researching this. This all started back in 2015 with a big announcement that even famous space scientist Stephen Hawking was a part of. So, what's their game? Well, they're trying to get access to lots of radio telescopes all over the world. These telescopes can help them look for real proof of really smart alien beings and find out if there are super advanced civilizations out there. It's known as the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI for short. But even though people have been working on this for more than 50 years, they haven't found any sure signs of aliens yet. Lots of signals they thought were from aliens turned out to be from stuff like our own satellites or things humans have been doing on Earth. But the thing is, this particular signal has been received from outside Earth, so we can come to a conclusion that the signal is definitely from aliens out on Proxima Centauri. Or at least around that star system. But the problem is, there's a lot of stuff we've sent out into space, so it can be hard to figure out what's from aliens and what's from us. When did they start searching for signals from aliens? The initiative for discovering a possible signal from aliens started in 2019. Some scientists who want to find out if there's actually extraterrestrial life out there began collecting data and used a huge radio telescope called Parkes in Australia. This is when they discovered that Proxima Centauri is a huge red dwarf star like our Sun that has an exoplanet called Proxima B in the Goldilocks zone, capable of sustaining life just like on Earth. Initially, their goal was to check if this star had any bursts of energy called flares and how these might affect any planets circling it. What they discovered was that Proxima B is about 1.2 times the size of Earth. It goes around the red dwarf star every 11 days and is in a spot that could have liquid water, which is important for alien life. The tricky part is figuring out if Proxima B could actually sustain life with all the powerful flares that make it hard for it to have a nice atmosphere. But for all we know, there are aliens on this exoplanet that have adapted to those flares. After all, this planet is in fact in the Goldilocks zone and it has liquid water. Now there's another planet they found in 2019 called Proxima C. It's like 7 times heavier than Earth and it takes about 4.2 years to go round the star, which is a lot longer when compared to Proxima B or Earth. This tells us that space is full of surprises and things we don't fully understand, and all this excitement pushes scientists to keep searching for signs of life beyond our planet. Another exciting thing happened. Astronomers at Parkes Observatory decided to do a really deep study of Proxima Centauri and spent a whole 26 hours just looking at it. Now, these scientists specialize in stellar flares, and they were also a part of Breakthrough Listen. But what's interesting is that they weren't just looking at the star for regular stuff. They were hoping to find any signs that might be coming from sentient life out there. It's all part of a big mission to find messages from civilizations beyond Earth. An important role in this mission was undertaken by Shane Smith, an intern enrolled in Simeon's SETI program at Berkeley and a student at Hillsdale College. Smith's effort to sift through the data led to an amazing discovery. He found a narrowband emission pinpointed at 982.002 MHz concealed within the Proxima Centauri observations. This discovery prompted rapid developments, and for good reason. Sophia Sheikh, who led the subsequent analysis of the signal for Breakthrough Listen, said that this discovery is the most exciting thing that they found in the Breakthrough Listen project because they haven't had a signal jump through this many of their filters before. In the context of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, signals undergo a bunch of automated tests to exclude terrestrial interference. While hundreds of candidates pass this preliminary phase, only a few are chosen for further examination. The majority of these signals are eventually attributed to noise, errors, or other terrestrial factors that misled the filtering process. But Sheikh emphasized that the signal BLC1, which is what they're calling the alien signals, was an exceptional case, as it withstood rigorous analysis and scrutiny, warranting further investigation. In short, this development showcases the efforts of astronomers with the Breakthrough Listen project, their collaboration with a dedicated intern, and the exciting prospect of a signal that defies conventional explanations. It highlights the careful process of identifying potential signals of extraterrestrial origin between a whole bunch of data and the optimism surrounding signals like BLC1 that stand out from the ordinary. Sophia Sheikh and her fellow researchers made another discovery. Taking another look at the data from 2019, the telescope had been focusing on Proxima Centauri multiple times through 30-minute scans spread across a week. A technique known as nodding was used, where the telescope would spend an equal amount of time looking away from the target. They were essentially double-checking whether any potential signals were genuinely coming from Proxima Centauri rather than being caused by some local interference. Within these observations, a pattern emerged. In roughly 3 hours worth of those 30-minute scans, a strange signal made itself known. This signal seemed to come from Proxima Centauri or a nearby cosmic region before reaching Earth. This all but means that the signal is in fact coming from an alien source. However, researchers are still very careful about the whole study. Despite the low likelihood of a natural cosmic source, they are hesitant to dismiss any possibilities. The reason is that while a natural explanation might not be possible, attributing the signal to an unnatural origin like intelligent extraterrestrial life is even more impossible. The BLC1 signal doesn't match a typical techno signal from that spot. This signal isn't showing any of the usual changes in its properties that they'd expect when someone's trying to send a message. According to David Simeon, the expert in charge, it's like hearing just one piano key. Now, let's talk about the other strange thing, the signal's drifting. Imagine tuning into a radio station and it's shifting its frequency slightly. This could be because of how our Earth moves, or maybe it's from some high-tech gadget on one of Proxima Centauri's planets. But the way it's changing is the opposite of what you'd expect from a signal coming from a planet circling around a star. So, what's the plan? Well, they've tried to catch that signal again using the Parkes Observatory, but no luck so far. They need a second sighting to really nail down if it's a genuine alien signal. Shami Chatterjee from Cornell University said that if this is in fact aliens trying to communicate with us, someone else should be able to catch it too, not just the Parkes Observatory. Besides, the story about how they found this signal is a bit fuzzy from what we've heard. But it seems like they caught the signal in 5 short bursts, each about 30 minutes long on different days, and every time they pointed their telescope at Proxima, the signal showed up. And when they moved the telescope away, the signal disappeared. Now, the Breakthrough Listen project uses smart filters on their computers to sort through signals from Earth and our satellites. They're trying to find signals coming from really far away in space, and the signal they find doesn't match the usual patterns they know about. The team leader, Andrew Simeon, said that this signal is like a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit with the others they've seen before, and it's making them scratch their heads a bit. If the BLC-1 signal turns out to be real, it brings up a lot of questions. Should we talk back to whoever might be sending it? After all, if we do reply, we might get a response within a decade. It's pretty exciting to think about starting a conversation with some potential aliens out in the Proxima Centauri star system. If we do reply, there's a bunch of stuff we need to think about. Who are these possible alien friends? What do they want? Could they be a problem? Imagine if aliens from Proxima Centauri, a star that's pretty close to us, could actually come to Earth in a few decades. Well, there's a plan called Starshot for sending super-fast, lightweight spacecraft towards Proxima Centauri. These spacecraft can travel at about 15 to 20% of the speed of light and reach Proxima in 20 to 30 years. It's like a space race, but not like the ones you see on TV. And then there's another big question. What might these aliens know about us? An astrobiologist named Jacob Hag-Misra has a theory. He thinks that if these aliens are super advanced, they probably already know about us. Unless, by some chance, they're at the same tech level as us and we're discovering each other at the same time, but that's pretty unlikely. Even a 1,000-year difference between our progress and theirs, it would make a huge impact on what we can do and learn. What are the chances that aliens from a neighbouring star are trying to talk to us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and leave a like for more.